of Dagon was left on it. But the hand of the Lord was heavy on the people of Ashdod, and he ravaged them and struck them with tumors, both Ashdod and its territories. And when the men of Ashdod saw how it was, they said, the ark of Yah of Israel must not remain with us, for his hands is harsh towards us, and Dagon our Elohim. Now I want you to understand something. In the essence of that, you did not even see where they say, well, I repent, I'm so sorry, please forgive me, and none of that. All these people were dying, they were getting tumors, they're going through all of this, but you never heard that through the whole process. They said that this particular Elohim, they consider it another God. They said that this particular one of Israel is destroying our Elohim. Our God is being destroyed because of that thing that's in our midst. So they were willing to let this thing go because nobody wants misery and destruction. But they never was willing to let go of their own Elohim. Now, understand this. They was never in essence of worshiping or even in a place of considering worshiping this power that was greater than Dagon. But they knew that this power was greater. So they wanted it out of their midst because it was destructive. It was destructive. If it's just some distortion, I apologize. I can hear it some in there. But you should see how this thing unfolds. It shows you how everybody's not in a place of wanting to worship Yah because you are. And just because you are chosen and you're doing the things you're doing and people are being disrupted by you being there, doesn't mean that they want to join you because you are now walking a certain way. I mean, I want you to understand that doesn't happen. So I hope you don't believe that. Or I hope you don't believe that because they're going to get rid of what they believe because you walk in the room or because you change in the hands of time, because you learning things. No, that doesn't happen. The thing is that it's how you are being changed by the effect of what's truth. And you making the decision to serve the righteousness of Yah is the only thing that's different about you. But that don't have nothing to do with nobody else. And this is why even the Bible said you have to learn to mind your business. The Father doesn't need you to fight for him at all. He really don't. He don't need us to do that. He need us to walk uprightly before him. And most of the times the battles that you are fighting is because you are in opposition of the Father. You creating the atmosphere for your own battle. You creating the atmosphere for your own problem. Because you're the one going against the Father, trying to be a part of the Father. And I don't know who this talking to, but I'm telling you, just because you walking with Yah doesn't mean that you are walking with Yah. You're just walking in the knowledge of who he is. And a lot of people do that, and they think they worshiping the Father, and they really worshiping themselves. They really worshiping them. And they believing inside, I'm walking, I'm doing the thing, I'm doing right. No, you're not. Because why would he need you to fight his battle? You've seen in representation of this, how the Ark of the Covenant, there was nobody there of the Israelites and the army of where the Babylonians was at, or the Philistines or the Ashdod. You didn't see anybody there other than the Most High himself. Where was you there? Nobody was there, right? The Israelites wasn't there. Nobody. And he still was winning without you in the way. He still was winning because the only reason why they got it because of your sin. And the thing is that you don't see that he needed you to beat this battle or have them bring it back to you at all. Bring you back to a good place. He didn't need you to do that. And what happens, a lot of us get in the way because we are not even worshiping, because we don't listen. We don't listen to the truth of Yah's word. And then we get in our midst, well, I'm doing what's right. No, you're pretty much doing what you feel is right. You are righteous, and they said in the Bible, in your own eye. And this is what a lot of people do. I'm not talking about this you. I'm talking about anybody. I'm looking on the screen of myself because it's myself as well. You know, sometimes we feel like we have to fight the battle for the Most High. I don't know why we got this inclination in our mind. Well, we got to fight the battle. You know, he don't need us to do anything. He need us to walk uprightly before him. That's his main purpose. And while we're here, that's all he need us to do, is just to walk uprightly. Will some of us be destroyed? Yeah, some of us will not make it into any essence of anything, because if he choose to destroy it, it says you coming in knowing the position and where you're taking. So you can go and cry and yearn. If it's your time, it's your time. That's just reality. I look at that every day. But what I'm saying is that we got to understand, the Most High doesn't need us, and this is the point I'm trying to make before we even go any further. He don't need our help. He needs us to walk uprightly before him, and he will use us when it's time. But if you have taken the time out to learn of him, taking the yoke on, gaining knowledge, gaining understanding, changing your heart, changing what you believe, and doing what's right. And what I mean by belief is that you still believing in what you believe. Some of us have not even made it to a point of believing what Yah is saying, because we still going according to mama's belief, daddy's belief, grandmother's belief. We ain't even changed to the true belief, because we still building our life on the traditions of other people's belief. You can't stand on the prayers of mama and daddy. You got to learn to focus on where Yah is sending you and stay on the course that he got you to. Stop trying to figure it out or making up stuff and he's saying this, and you know he ain't saying none of that. It's your imagination going with you. Because we don't worship like we should. So we are not like the Messiah, who goes in the early part of the day, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and he goes and he gets his instructions from Yah every day. He says that he was constantly doing this. They knew where he was at. They knew his pattern. They knew how he went and taught, even to a point that his betrayer knew where he would be at a certain time of the day. He had it so packed down, he knew when to tell them to come and catch him. They knew where he was going to be, because he was patternized to make sure that he went and talked with Yah on a daily basis. And we have to learn that where you're going to get your instructions from is you're not getting it from him. He's the one that you're walking with. And I'm just trying to get you to understand. This is the reason why we have to learn what praise and worship really is. Praise and worship ain't about you dancing, singing, shouting all the time. Praise and worship is a lifestyle that you must live. Praise and worship is a gathering that you fellowship with others, and y'all both come in connection with praise and worship. That is a job by itself. It's a job by itself. It's the hardest job for someone to do, is to let go of their own desires to serve the desires of Yah. It's hard to do that, because everybody want for their family. They got their own instructional ways they want to live their life. They have built based on what they remember, and they don't have a desire to do anything different. And as soon as you bring up stuff, and they're going to fight, argue, and fight over every little thing, instead of realizing that we got to learn how to stand upright before the king. We have to learn that. That's a hard job by itself. It's hard to stand upright, because there's a lot of other things you could be doing, but you want to stand upright. The tabernacle was built according to the instructions of the Most High. Moses could not waver from it or make up his mind how he wanted it done. It was instructed a certain way, and if Moses did not do it that way, he would have got somebody else to do it. Trust me. He will replace you, me, anybody when we're not following what he tell us to do. And the thing is, he don't have your conscience or mine. Ain't nobody coming, oh, I forgive me. He ain't trying to hear that. When he keep telling you to do what he tell you to do, and then you turn around and keep doing what you want to do, it'd be a time when he's going to stop telling you. He's going to stop asking you. He's going to stop pleading with you. He used those prophets to plead with the nation. Look, you got to change. You got to do what's right. Then he had the Messiah come and give a heartfelt instruction to the people that wanted to listen. But their worship was for something totally different than the Most High. And as you can look at the end of this, when Herod had splendor and passion and desires and design, he was a very creative man. He had splendor in his mind. He loved things that were ravishing and pretty. But he had no real true worship of the reason why he was in kingship in the first place. He didn't even care about the fact that he had a purpose that he had to follow. He was more involved with what he thought was best. And why I'm telling you this is because until we get to a point in this walk, we say that we walking in the Most High, and we got to learn how to walk according to be how he designed that person, you, I. He didn't ask us to be somebody else and how he designed them. He didn't ask you to follow the pattern of man. He didn't ask you to follow the pattern of your family. He didn't ask you to follow the pattern of your kid. He didn't ask you to do none of that. He asked you to follow him. That's it. You follow him, you're going to learn to live uprightly. If you follow the Messiah, you're going to learn how to have a heart of the Father. That's the key. And that's what a lot of people miss when it comes to getting in a place with the Messiah. Some people don't even know what that means. And the thing is that all that means the anointed one. Who was the anointed one? Who was the anointed one? That's your homework for today. Who was the anointed one? Who was the anointed one? What does anointed mean? Read back and when Samuel did a particular thing to David, then you will understand what anointed means. And then when you realize that Isaiah was speaking about the anointed one, what that mean? How do you view the anointed one? What does it mean to be anointed? What does Christ mean? And I'm just trying to tell you that so that you would understand. Don't want to be all over the place. All he asking you to do is stand uprightly before him. That's all he's asking of us. That's it. Everything else will come. Everything else will come for you. Everything else will come together for you. Everything else will be in its place. Stand upright before the Most High. Everything else, I promise you, will gear itself to teach you the righteousness of him. Everything. But you're not going to see it if you're more focused on every little thing, trying to find a way to worship. The pattern has already been built. The design has already been built. How you are instructed to do it will be based between you and the Most High. Not a man going to tell you, because if you look in the word of truth, there are different ways that the Messiah used. There are different ways that David used. There are different ways that Moses used. Like, you can't go by and say, well, that's the only way to do it. It doesn't work that way. You can wake up and be in your bedroom, and then he puts you on your knees and you in worship. You can be outside getting ready to do something else, and he could put you in a place of worship. You can be anywhere. So that means that if you're not in the temple, that means you can't worship. You got to think about this stuff. I'm trying to help you understand that you don't have the power to make the decision for somebody else's worship. But if you stand up right before Yah, he will show you what to do. Hallelujah.